visual so y'all could get a little taste of the creative side of this individual, and then we're gonna get a little bit into the mind of the individual. But this is Brooke Graham, Easy Does It. Check this out, y'all, and we'll be right back on the set of MJMG Presents SHU Radio.
The SHU studio, we get busy.
In the sheets and you next to me, the Gulf Coast calling. I could hear the waves. Sleep late, baby. We ain't got no worries, we ain't in no hurry on this lazy day. Down on the beach, easy does it. Just love it. Walking in the moonlight, baking in the sun. Beautiful people having too much fun. Down on the beach, easy does it. Just love it. Walking in the moonlight, baking in the sun. Beautiful people having too much fun. Down on the beach, easy does it. Down on the beach, easy does it. Down on the beach, easy does it.
Shout out to everybody jumping on SHU Radio by way of MJMG Presents. That was Easy Does It right there by Brooke Graham. Without further ado, y'all know what I say. Time is money, and I don't want to waste no time or money of this individual. This individual is known as the Gulf Coast Cowgirl, merging and fusion different sounds. Some say trop rock, some say Americana, all different sounds, but what I say is a bundle of goodness and dope music. Without further ado, let's introduce our guest, Brooke Graham.
Thanks. That was a great introduction. Thanks, bud.
Oh man, you're very welcome. You're very welcome. First and foremost, thank you for coming on to the show today.
Absolutely.
So, Brooke, I have to ask, and I you know, there's no one question there's only one question we ask everybody, but that's for later. But what was your first introduction to music?
And I mean, I'm telling you, growing up, my mom, my first concert was the Doobie Brothers, right?
Okay.
And the music was just, we had Tina Turner, we had the Doobies, we had Eagles, we had everything going in that, Jimmy Buffett all the time. So I was just raised in a really musical family, on both sides, my mom and my dad. And that.
Oh, wait, a signal break. Hold on, we have a little technical difficulties, y'all. 1 second. We're gonna get that straight away. That's one thing about technology. It goes well till it doesn't. But I want to send a big shout out to everybody that's on right now. Much love to all the creators and the artists that are on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna run that video back real quick. Please bear with us. We'll be right back on the set. We just want to make sure everything is good on that end. So this is Easy Does It one more time, and this is Brooke Graham. Let's check this out.
Down on the beach, easy does it. Cool ocean breeze, don't you just love it? Walking in the moonlight, baking in the sun. Beautiful people having too much fun. Down on the beach, easy does it. I woke up this morning to sand in the sheets and you next to me, the Gulf Coast calling. I could hear the waves. Sleep late,
Are you there?
baby.
All right.
We
Yes.
ain't
Yes.
got
We
no
are.
worries, we ain't in
We are
no
back on the
hurry
set,
on this
everybody.
lazy
We
day.
were just going over the video one more time. But I was just sharing with them, with technology, it works until it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's
All
just
of a
how.
sudden you went blank. I don't know.
Oh, see, and that's what happened for us. But it's okay. We are back. It's not gonna stop the set. So you were sharing about music being everywhere, for you at once, and adopting that feel.
It was, and it really, my dad would sit in the backyard and pick guitar with his buddies, and they'd play Jimmy Buffett covers till all hours of the night. And I just remember sitting there. I mean, I grew up a Buffett baby, right? And that's why it's so interesting where I am now with my label, because for 10 years they've been looking to put together a female Jimmy Buffett, and the way it all came together, and that's what they're doing with me. And just it's like I'm living in my dream. I mean, truly living my dream. And I'm
You
so thankful.
you've been coined what Jenny Buffett wasn't?
It was.
You've
How'd
been
you hear that?
I've been doing. I had to do a little homework. But you've been coined Jenny Buffett,
Jenny Buffett. I forgot about that. Yeah, I was.
so that's pretty cool. So now, how did you know? Like, sometimes for the artists, we find something that we love, and we're around it, and we're indecisive of this is the direction we want to go in. If we want to make it a career, when did you know you wanted to make it a career?
It found me because I've been playing guitar since I was little, self-taught, watching my dad, and my mom was turning 60. This was back in 2013, and I called her and I said, "Hey, what do you want for your birthday?" And she said, "I just really want a CD or a disc of the songs that you've written." So I call a buddy, he's got a studio, and after he got to talking to some people and playing some of my music, they were like, "Man, you ought to make an album. Like, don't just give this to your mom. You need to get this out there." And this was shit that I'd written, right? And before I knew it, Lloyd Maines, who's the Dixie Chicks dad, he plays on my first album basically over the whole thing. He's the dobro, he's the guitar, he's the all the fun stuff. And the saddest part about that was the final day of recording that album, my mom passed away. We were doing the final drum tracks,
Oh
and I
wow.
find out that my mom passed away, and so she never heard it, right? But we got the album finished, and after we released it, it was like 10 days later. It was short, maybe 10, 15 days later. I got an email that I'd been nominated for Female Vocalist of the Year by the Texas Academy of Country Music. And I'm like, what? You know?
Wow, that's a
So,
quick turnaround too.
yeah, it was quick. And that just kind of catapulted me into, well, you got to give it a try. So I started honing in on my songwriting and put together my second album, which was Look at the Moon. And the reason I named it Look at the Moon, because mom would always call me and say, hey, step outside and look at the moon with me. So it's like, I miss my mom.
Wow, I get
But
you.
then I just been spanking that pony and riding that horse till, and then I ended up, the way I got signed on with Flying Sea Records, it's a crazy story. So I'll make it quick, but
No, no,
there's a
no.
guy named
Please tell the story. We at the edge of our seats.
I appreciate that. There's a guy named Tex Whitson who was Merle Haggard's lifelong manager and buddy, right? And he and my boss, Jimmy Collins, who's the president of Flying Sea Records, they've been looking to put together a female Buffett act. And a lady, my grandmother painted a oil painting for this her best friend. Well, this is years. This just happened back in 3 years ago. This lady contacts me and says, "My mom's passed away. Your grandma painted her this picture. Would you like to have it back? Because I'm not going to hang it in my house." I'm like, "Absolutely." So we meet. We talk about my music. I didn't know she knew Tex Whitson. She calls him that night and said, "Tex, you've got to listen to this girl's music. She writes her own stuff. Her voice is so different." And I'll be dang if the next day Tex and Jimmy didn't call me and they're like, "We found our girl. This is our female Buffett," after a 10-year search. So that's how I got. That's how I am where I am right now.
Wow, it seems like I don't want to say the right place at the right times have been so influential into your movements, but in the process, in between those great moments having, was there ever a time you was discouraged with the journey or the possibilities of it?
Absolutely. I mean, it's this is a man's world, right? And to be a female on radio is not easy. I mean, if you ever pay attention, they play like 10 guys in one girl song,
That is
So
true.
to be included in Texas Red Dirt Radio was really, we didn't know how they were going to take us because we're doing a beach country thing. And last year we landed two number ones on Texas radio, and then this year we landed another number one. So I've got three number ones on Texas Red Dirt Radio, and I'm
Talk
still like,
about it. That's
how did
right.
that happen?
Straight
Very,
Wrangler, you
yeah,
Wrangler in it. Like let's bring it
exactly.
in. Let's bring it in. I love that.
Grab the bull by the horns.
Straight. How you mentioned it's a man's world, and we know that this industry as a whole is male dominated. How difficult is it for you, or was difficult for you, maneuvering through that with your style of music?
Well, I'm real tender hearted, Spud. So, it wasn't easy. I listen, I take advice, and I sponge everything I can get because I'm learning so much. Because again, I'm just a little country girl who loves music, and the good Lord has just guided me through this. And there's lots of days you get discouraged because you're writing a song and you can't get that final, like the bridge won't come to you, or there's lots of roadblocks, but that's in everybody's career. So you just have to persevere and don't take no for an answer.
That is right. We speak about not taking no for an answer a lot on this show. Now you mentioned three songs making number one. Which one was the first one?
Hello Texas. We were in the studio in Nashville, and my manager came in and he goes, "Hey, what do you think about cutting Hello Texas?" That it was in the movie Urban Cowboy. Jimmy Buffett sang it. And it's
Okay.
been cut by Johnny Lee and several people. And I'm like, dang, that's a great idea. So we did that one, and that was our first number one. And the second one was one that I wrote called Me Time. And that was crazy because I wrote it and it's on Texas radio and it's number one.
That's right.
And then we released, I think it was back in February, Rollin On, which is an old Doobie Brothers song that nobody's ever heard. I had never heard it. When Jimmy, my manager, played it for me, I'm like, "Oh, that's a cool song." So then that went to number one. It's like, trifecta right there.
There you go. You got more number ones than a lot of people. I tell you
I'm
that.
thankful.
So
I'm thankful.
when you're creating your music, do you go in it with the idea of like I wanted to be a hit or I wanted to make number one? How was the creative process of Brooke Graham?
When I wrote Me Time, um, it was crazy. My dad bought me, and this was back in 2018, right? And my dad went to a flea market and bought a Hannah Montana electric guitar, Disneyland little toy, not toy, but it's a kid's electric guitar. And he put new strings on it and he brings it and he goes, "Man, the damn thing works. So I sit down and the music to Me Time just came out of the guitar, like the chord progression. I was like, "Oh, I like that." And then I wrote the song in like 15 minutes, and as a songwriter like you, it doesn't always happen. It could take 6 months,
It sure
six
can.
years. But that one, and to have that even played on Texas radio up against like Wade Bowen and Pat Green and and these big guys, and then we got number one with something I wrote. you
That's
know,
right. That's
that's
right.
crazy.
That
Yeah.
is. Did you? And I know it's a competitive, like music itself is a competitive field. When you started to get the look and the attention that you deserve for your penmanship and your artistry, did you face any like hardships between, like, I don't want to say competition, but fellow artists, local or even abroad? Did that affect you anyway?
Good question. Not really, because I've always focused on surrounding myself with, spiritual people, people with compassion, people with good hearts. And if you're not that way, I just kind of I try not to absorb your energy kind of thing. I know it's not always easy to do that, but I've been pretty lucky with the reception of really all the Texas artists and global. And now that I'm with the Parrot Heads and we're playing festivals all up and down the Gulf Coast, I meet people from all over the world, and everybody's just been so stinking sweet. But I'm sweet, so if I'm sweet, you got to be sweet,
It,
right?
it, it works out, right? Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
works out. Now, festivals. I know festivals are something that you frequent a lot, and you're a big part of it in a lot of movements. Can we talk a little bit about some of the ones that you've done and what has impacted you creatively as an artist?
Right after Jimmy Buffett passed away, we were playing a festival in Gulf Shores, and he'd only been gone a few months, right? And the Coral Reefers set up that they were the big headlining act that night, and they set up, and I still get choked up talking about it, but they set up full stage, and you got Mac McAnally over on this side and Scotty Emmerich on this side, and where Jimmy Buffett would be standing, they had a microphone. Of course, just an empty microphone. It was like, man, if you didn't have tears in your eyes at that.
Yeah.
But probably the craziest festival fact that I've got for you. Um, 9 years ago, I started a thing here in Texas called the Brooke Graham Beach Bash,
Hmm.
and we do it down in Port Aransas, which is south. And the first year we had like 150 people come. It was just little grassroots. Hey, y'all, let's go to the beach and play some music on the beach. And this past year, from the Texas Country Music Association, we won Festival of the Year,
Look at
brother.
that. Look
Yeah,
at
I
that.
mean, we had thousands of people come. So it's been a grassroots, organic, people come and then they have so much fun. They go home and tell their cousins and their neighbors. And it's been this movement, and we won up
Look at
against some big
you.
fest like the Houston Rodeo. We beat that, but
You are racking up.
I don't want to jinx myself. Let me knock on some wood, right?
No, the energy that you put out is just being reciprocated. Like
Hmm.
you speak highly about your heart and the energy that you want to be around. So you're just reaping the benefits of just the genuine person you are. We do have a question from the chat, and
Uh-oh.
they were asking, do men respect your craft when you perform, or do they feel intimidated by your strength and awarenesses?
Like, do men respect it?
Yeah.
Yeah, again, we play beach happy music, so it's not, I've never been put in a situation to where it wasn't like a sunshine vibe. I don't know how else to put that. But I've never had anybody be ugly so far. I hope I'm not jinxing myself.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not at all. You're not at all. You're putting out the energy, and again, it's most definitely beneficial to return. Now, whenever I looked and I checked you out, it mentions a lot of the word fusion, like your fusion sounds. Could you talk a little bit about those to those who might be naive or not in the know of the sound? It's not just country music, but could you talk a little bit about your sound and how did you morph into that?
Well, I mean, again, I grew up on Jimmy Buffett, so listening to Buffett has been something I've done since I was little bitty. And then, of course, I'm a country girl, retired barrel racer after I fell off and broke my back. But the country beach thing, it's really who I am. So it was an easy, when Jimmy and Tex wanted to make me a female Buffett, it's like, dude, here I am. I've been this way since I was 3 years old. So that was easy. And the fusion part of it, that's the fun part because, and as a matter of fact, I was doing an interview the other day of this radio station, and the lady said, "You realize you're a unicorn, right?" I said, "What do you mean by that?" And she goes, "You're the only one ever doing this vibe, this sound, this Texas country mixed with, saltwater reggae kind of, reggae beachy stuff. And so I was like, I'll take Unicorn. I'll take that.
Like, yeah, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah. She's like, you're the only one doing it. And it really, I was proud, and it put it into perspective that just keep going. And that, since then, there's not been people that I say are copycatting by any means, but it's kind of opened other people's eyes to the fusion as well. And I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, no, I completely get that completely. They came back with a follow up, and it says, has she done crossover music like pop or hip hop or R&B?
I want to do hip hop so bad, brother. Help me.
Yeah. So for everyone listening, as soon as we got on the show and we were just starting up, and she mentioned like I wanted to do hip hop so bad, so I think this
So
is the
bad.
closest I'm gonna get to it.
This
We
is it. This is my one. This is my time to shine, man.
well, we could see and make things happen. Um, I do wanna circle back real quick to something you said, subtle, and I kind of knew a little bit about the story of you being on a horse and it got spooked possibly by a snake and it shot
Well,
off.
you did some research. Where'd you
Yeah,
read that?
I did a little. When I'm interested in something, I figure it out. I figure it out.
Hey,
And you fell and you broke your back. I
it,
mean, I don't know a lot of people who could say, I broke my back, and then you see them rocking out a guitar on stage and doing their thing. Could you talk about that moment?
that was the scariest moment of my life. We, I was horse sitting for some friends of mine that just had a baby, and they wanted to go to Florida and show off their new baby. And so we're out there, we're, riding horses, and all of a sudden, this guy took off 7,000 miles an hour and took a sharp right to go back to the inside his barn. And when he did, thank goodness my boot let loose and I hit the ground, but otherwise it would have been the fence post, right? And I knew when I hit the ground something was wrong. I couldn't move. And and this is the crazy part. So by the grace of the good Lord up above, this is a huge ranch, and my buddies look out, and those old lawn chairs that fold like this, and they lay completely out.
Yes.
There was one of those like 50 yards away in the middle of this pasture. So they opened it up and kind of put me on it and took me in, and I couldn't move. And it wasn't until I had acupuncture. I had this acupuncturist come over, and he stuck the needle right where my back was broken, and this blood started going everywhere. And then here I am. And it's since that day, here I am. So I better knock on wood.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. That's scary. I mean, you
That
can't move,
that is scary, and it's also a testimony of great strength and ability to overcome such thing like that. How far into your musical career was that when that happened?
Oh man, that was right at the beginning of it, I guess. Well, I mean, again, I've been playing music forever, but like professionally, that was probably 10 years before the album with mom,
Yeah,
for her birthday. Yeah.
I could imagine that moment being very scary, especially on not just life itself, but as a creator, going
Yeah.
through such a thing.
Yeah. Very,
So
very painful.
so after going through that, dropping the album, getting three number ones, getting the number one festival, like was there any more pinnacle that you was like, got some more in me? And if it was, what was that next step for you?
I mentioned to you earlier the Super Bowl of all Parrot Head events is in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and to be invited, there's music. It's like a week-long festival, and there's music all over Gulf Shores. I mean, every little bar and Floribama and here and there. And to finally be invited to perform on the main stage at the big event, I've been doing this will be my third year back. That's the Jimmy Buffett Fest of all Jimmy Buffett festivals. There's people come from all over the world. I mean,
Everywhere, yeah.
yeah, that was super cool.
So this is your third time.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, for everybody listening, I don't know if y'all getting how much she's putting in that work. Not only she putting in work, how much of the work is being recognized, and that's a beautiful. It's inspiring, especially for many of the artists that are possibly on, that want to get to main stages of whatever genre or like, it's very inspirational. And not to say even though you're a woman, but how competitive this field and this market is for you to be genuinely, like, you got to work. Sometimes you got to work a little even harder. You got to even work
You
harder.
do. You
And
do.
she's putting them boots and them spurs to that ass, y'all. I'm telling y'all, she sure
That's
is.
funny.
She sure
Hey, we
is.
could write that. Let's write that hip
Look,
hop song.
look,
Putting the boots and the spurs to
but
that ass.
there we go. You know what I mean? We already in sync. We already in sync. We already in sync.
That's
So
funny.
so now I know you working on a new project or have a new project. Could we talk a little bit about that and the direction and what you want the listener to feel and get?
Yeah, the new album, we've been working on it for the last couple of years, going back and forth to Nashville and working with some, to go into a fancy studio and everything's shiny and brand new. And but the musicians that I was lucky enough to get to record with, I mean, these guys, they record with Miranda and Blake Shelton and Kenny Chesney, and just to go in, and I'm sitting in the room with these people, but they play my song for them one time, they hand them a sheet of music, and they all scatter like little quail and go in their room, and they bring out this sound that, like you said earlier, that's what was in my head, that's what I wanted. And it's amazing to watch that. So working with some of the top-notch musicians has really taught me a lot. And I'm so thankful. The new album that we finally I titled it the other day. I called Jimmy, my boss, and I said, I've got it. He goes, what? I said, no lifeguard on duty. So that's gonna be the, I don't even know if I'm supposed to
Ooh.
say that yet. Sorry, Jimmy, if I'm in trouble for
Yes.
that.
Everyone scratch that from the records for right now.
Yeah. Bleep.
I love that. I love that. And
Thank you.
that's coming out.
Middle October, and it's literally like your little ticket to paradise. It's got stuff about copper tone and tequila. It's got me time, salty situation, don't send help. That's our new song coming out Friday that drops digitally, not to
Okay.
radio. Yeah, and it's
Nice. Nice.
about this guy gets kind of, or girl get, you get kind of, what you shouldn't be drinking and driving, right? We'll put
Yes.
that first. But they did, and they got a little tooted, and they crashed their boat into an island, and they're like, you know what, I'm good. Don't send help. So it's cute.
Nice
I wrote it
story.
with my buddy in Nashville. Yeah.
What inspires you? The chat said, "I love tequila." Shout out to Golden. Said, "I love tequila." What inspires your storyboards or the messages that you put into your music?
Oh man, people ask me that a lot, and the funnest part about being a crazy songwriter is just through conversation. Like you were talking about, put the boots and the spurs to that ass. It's like it's an illness, and I listen, and I love lyrics, I love people, but when you say something, get that or put it in your phone, and just just to turn people's stories into a song is one of my favorite things to do,
I
and
love that.
that's yeah, that's I
So
love people.
I gotta inform you, Brooke, and I'm part of this membership. We're crazy, but we know it. That's
It's
the art. Once
it's an
we
illness.
Yes, once we know it, we can maneuver. When we don't know,
Right.
that's the problem. But we do know. We do know.
You just have to bless the people that have to live with us, right?
That's right. That's right. When looking you up, there are so many taglines that is associated with you. I mean, I saw the Jenny Buffett. I saw you transition people, the listeners, to paradise. There's so many different taglines to you, but you yourself, if someone said to you, what did you want to be represented or said about Brooke Graham? Like, what is that you wanted to radiate to the people?
Like through my music.
Yes, your music, you just in general, like when that name is said, Brooke Graham, what do you want the people to feel?
And this sounds so cliche, but just sunshine and peace and happiness. And can't we all just get along? What I don't understand, and not to make this, I'm not going to go on a political
I get you.
turn, but just, be happy, be nice, be kind, love your neighbor, you know, call your mama. that kind of stuff. Just
Yeah,
be happy,
I
you know?
completely get that.
Yeah.
Now, there's one question. There's one question that is the only question we ask every listener on the show.
Uh-oh.
And that question is, if you could look back to the younger Brooke and tell yourself anything, what would that be and why?
Ooh, if I could look back on the younger Brooke. Um, man, there's so many things that come to mind, but just right off the cusp, when I was learning to break dance in my driveway, and we're going to go back to this hip hop thing. I mean, I'm talking parachute pants on a big refrigerator cardboard
Oh,
box.
you was really
I
about that then.
I had it, man, and I was good. I wish I had kept doing that. Now I got a broken back and I can't
Yeah.
see.
Oh man.
So yeah, that's. I mean, I don't know why that came to me, but that's. I wish I had learned to, or because I was pretty good for a while. I had my buddies come over and teach me.
Oh man, you
Yeah,
was rocking. You was rocking. You
yeah.
rocking. It seems, and I think it's safe to say that you have an appreciation just for music itself and the different mergers of genre. I
Mhm.
know hip hop is something that uh, you mention a lot, but as far as merging your music, is there any other music that you would want to merge or fuse that you haven't yet experienced or tried?
Honestly, it would be hip hop. I mean, I LL Cool J was my go-to, and of course the break. Remember the break? I don't know how old you are, but the breaking movie, like
Yo,
breakdance
yes.
movie,
Oh yeah, I
doom da
remember.
da, doom do do,
Oh, of
doom da, and all
course.
that.
Oh, you take
That man, I want to
okay.
do. I want to do that with just make a tropical hip hop rap song. That's what I want to do. And you're
Okay.
the guy to help me.
Hey, you are in the right place.
I
You are in
know.
the
Thank you,
right
Lord.
place. We going you still batting 100. See, look, she still batting 100. The chat said they could hear hip hop in your voice. Shout out
Somebody
to the
said that.
yes, they said that in the chat right now.
See, born to do it, baby. Born to do it.
There you go. There you go. In the future, whatever that future looks like, what do you have in store for that?
Oh my gosh, so much. I mean, we're gonna kick off a tour next spring because being a beach act during the winter months, I get to kind of hibernate, right? So we'll just the plan is to go from one end of the Gulf Coast to the other, just spreading music and sunshine, and hopefully a new hip hop song with you.
Yeah, oh man, we on it. We on it.
I
I got
can't
I got
wait.
I got to do a disclaimer to Golden 562. I'm on the pressure that I can't do no features till I get the feature done with Golden. So, but we're gonna make that happen nonetheless. We're gonna make that
Okay,
happen.
I'm
Shout
in.
out to
I'm in.
Golden. I've been in the business for some time, and I see a lot of female artists coming up, and when it comes to like advice, it's usually from a male perspective on the advice and the journeys. I'm not gonna say there's any separation between artistry, but we know that what the hurdles are faced, it's not always the same. If you could give our viewers some word of inspiration, especially our female artists that are on, what could you share with them?
I mean, that's an easy one. I just, remain authentic. Just be yourself because, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm this, uh, I don't know. I guess just by being myself, that's where I am or why I am where I am. And I'm not on top of the world by any means, but I've got a lot of gratitude in my heart. And, my music has gotten a lot of recognition and I'm just very thankful. Just stay true to yourself. Don't let the man bend you.
That's right. That's right. Look, they're already saying yes, I did that for the chat. The chat, I got y'all. I got y'all. I know where we going with this. I know where we going with
Tell
this.
them thank you for listening. I guess they can thank y'all for listening.
Yeah, y'all heard that. Y'all heard that. And also want to send a shout to everybody on the app who cannot communicate as much as they want, but your listening, your ears are most definitely still appreciated. So I know you just heard her send her thank yous. In your journey, was there any regrets musically? I know some artists get opportunities and they turn them down, and then later on they're like, man, I should have did this. Is there any moments of that you feel like, man, maybe I should have just did that song?
Yeah, well, as far as songs, no, I've been lucky. Either the ones that my management's picked out or the ones that I've written that they really loved and we got to, record. But one of my biggest regrets is I've been nominated, for female vocalist, musician of the several handfuls of nominations, and I've been to every award show to clap on my other buddies that won, right? And the one show that I couldn't go to because we were out of town, I won Festival of the Year, so I didn't get to go up and like accept the award and do my thank you Jesus speech and all that stuff. So that was a regret, but that I couldn't help it. I wasn't in town for the award show, but musically, no, I've been blessed with them putting the songs that I feel really positive behind recording and pushing out there to people.
I love that. I love that. How I know we speak the word blessed came in a lot of times, and how instrumental has your faith been to keeping you grounded, not just in musically but
One
in life?
hundred percent.
I kind
I
I,
mean,
I kind of knew that, but I wanted to take a time to acknowledge that too.
he's my buddy. We talk all day long. Not just when I go to bed at night, it's I literally, I mean, I feel like he's my friend, We chat.
That's right. That's right. And also the environment and the energy that you put out, I could imagine the returns of the gifts for that. So
Oh,
kudos to
thank you.
you on
Thanks,
that.
man.
The chat is really eating you up. They say love her. Like they saying they love her.
Aw.
Shout out to Even Muse, that was so beautiful. Said this is a dope interview. You're giving a lot of great. Yeah, she's dope. I'm just reading some of the chat. They saying she's dope. You get a lot of energy. Hey, don't
Oh,
forget me
man.
too, yo. Like I'm nah, jokes, jokes, jokes.
Man, tell them thank you. I guess they can hear that. And follow me for good crying out loud. Go follow us because that's what it's all about, the numbers game, right? So
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Follow. Speaking of follow, I when I first fell in love with music, social media wasn't a thing. You was a creative, you wrote, you created, you put it out, and now we're like competing with like algorithms and all kind of different things. How has that affected your music approach, if it even has, and how do you maintain that balance?
I think the scary thing about that, as far as affecting me currently, it really hasn't. But that AI thing is scary. Lots of
Yes,
people are writing their songs with it, and that's fine. I mean, I've got nothing against it, but it's just, it really makes you question what you're hearing. Like, did you write that, or did that AI guy write that?
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
only thing that scares me. And obviously the uh, Spotify and all that stuff. It's they do what they do, and I use Spotify. You have to, but it's not this. It's not like it was when I first started. As far as monetizing, nobody buys CDs anymore. Nobody has a
yeah,
CD player anymore,
yeah,
right? It's all digital. So I'm riding the wave and not getting any younger. So here we go.
yep.
We'll
I
go till
feel it.
the boat sinks, right?
That's right. That's right. That's the true artistry of it. Like you go with the times, figure out where your place is in that, and make the best out this journey.
And just be nice. Everybody be nice.
Be, that please, everyone, take that. Be nice. You can't say it any clearer. Just be
Yes.
nice.
Be
Be nice.
nice.
Now with social media and the old way that we used to do music, if you had the wand, the magic wand that could make artistry just, I don't want to say perfect but smoother, what was the first thing you gonna tap that wand on?
Man, you ask good questions. The first thing I would tap the wand on was, hey DJs, give chicks a chance. Like ding, girls can sing too.
That
Ding.
that is so
Yeah.
true. We were talking about that for those that on just how music, the women don't really get that much airtime. Like you said, it would be like 10 guys and then the girl.
Yeah.
10 guys and then the girl.
And there's lots of great guy music out there, but hey DJ, chicks can sing too. you know.
Most definite. I do want to take this time real quick before we even get any further. And they saying facts, and they saying yes we can. That's right. Let
That's
everybody know in the
right.
chat. Let's let everybody
Yeah,
know in the
gummit.
chat. We're in the time of everybody getting their flowers. This is the moment we're in. We hear it all the time. But here on MJMG Presents SHU Radio, we like to give our honor because flowers do die. So we want to take this time to give you your honor. Not only in your dedication and drive to keep going. I've never heard someone break their back and still be here with all that. I want to give you your honor for just how clear vision your heart is. You speak so much of your blessings. You speak so much of having good energy. And in a field where it's so easily to get tainted, so easily to get discarded and scarred, how easy it is to fall victim to probably the hardships that the game has, but to still keep that and keep going. And like you said, keeping the wheels fall off, keep going. I want to give you your round of applause and your honor for that energy, that wisdom, that insight, and of course the purity of it all. So here at SHU Radio, we want to give you that honor. Thank you.
Man, I love you, Spud. Thank y'all. Thank you for having me. I feel like I've known you my whole life.
Oh man, that's good. I got a question. When's your birthday?
December 16th.
I was about to say, I thought you was like a March. I'm a March.
You're Pisces then, huh?
Pisces, yes. I'm a Pisces.
We get along though. Pisces and Sag. I'm Sagittarius.
Okay.
They write hip hop hits together.
Damn.
That's what they do. That's what we're gonna do.
Hip hop hits. You heard that? with a little trop rock flavor to it.
Wouldn't that be so badass?
You know what I mean? And I don't think no one's did that. I don't know one did it like that. So we most definitely can. Yeah. Let's not say, right? We gotta keep that low. If people wanna get to you or collaborate with you, listen to some more music, check out what you got going on. What's the best way for people to do that?
Social media, obviously. Brooke Graham on Facebook, Brooke Graham Music on Instagram, and my website is brookegrahammusic.com. And I would so appreciate the followers.
There we go.
It helps me get radio play. It's just crazy.
Most definitely checked it out. Before, you know what? We're gonna go for those that just jumped on and missed the video earlier. We're gonna go into Hello Texas. This was one of the #1 records, right?
My first #1, yeah.
This was the first #1. This is Hello Texas. Let's check this out, y'all.
Chicago, partied old Chi-Town round, rolling along back to Interstate 10, Lord knows we're Texas bound. Hello, Texas, sure it's good to see you again. Hello, Texas, it sure is good to see me a friend. Now, we've been to New York City, and we've been to LA too. People in them Texas. It sure is good to see me a friend. Whoa, hello, Texas. It sure is good to see you again. Hello, Texas. It sure is good to see me a friend.
That right there was Hello Texas. So when you went into writing Hello Texas, could you give us a little backstory about Hello Texas? I was listening. I love lyrics. I love lyrics. So I was listening to, like, we're not trying to say nothing about everything that's going on, but you know what I'm saying? We got a lot going on over here. Could you tell us a little bit about the Hello Texas, the first number one you got?
And that one, I didn't write that one. That was a guy named Brian Collins wrote that back in like the early 80s, and
Okay.
Johnny Lee cut it, Jimmy Buffett cut it, and it ended up being in the Urban Cowboy movie. I mean, it's been like, pushed, it's been, what do you call it? Shelved for a long time.
Long time.
And then we brought it back out, and it took it to number one.
There you go.
What?
There you go. There you
Yeah.
go. Before we let you go, I want to thank you again for your energy, your wise words, and positive vibes.
Thank you.
Could you please one more time and address the viewers and everyone listening just how the importance of dedicating themselves to their artistry? We have a lot of artists on. A lot of artists love all the type of genres we bring here. So we're always trying to find a way to give the listeners as well as reconfirmation to our guests from their own words. So could you share the importance of, artistry?
I think the most important thing is just you do you. Don't try to be like everybody else. And there's a lot of them out there. You'll turn on the radio and you can't tell who's who. And a common comment that I get from a lot of radio and fans is that we hear you come on the radio and we know exactly who it is. And I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad, but they're complimenting me, and that's just be yourself and just remain authentic. Do you. Don't try to be like everybody else, because that's not. It's harder to it's harder to do it that way. I believe just be yourself.
That it is. Now I got a question. Just out of all your records, every single record that you ever sang, written, anything, if you had to just pick one record to represent you, what record would that be?
Me Time.
Me Time. You know what's interesting? Because I got Me Time queued up.
Oh,
And-
cool.
Yeah, I got Me Time queued up. And I was saying, I don't know, I feel something about this record. So I said, let me just ask that record. So that's a beautiful way to close it out with Me Time. I want to thank you for coming on the show.
Oh man, thank you.
Oh man, this was so fun. I'm gonna leave the floor with you. If there's anything you want to say, anybody you want to send words to, you have the floor before we let you go.
I thank you so much for having me. Getting the opportunity to be on this show is when I looked y'all up and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like another dream come true. I want to be hip hop so bad, and I'm not. But I'm trying. I'm not giving up.
That's right. No. We already put it in the atmosphere. Now we just gotta work the steps
It's
to
out
it.
there.
Yeah, it's out there. But again, thank you so much for coming on the show. Great energy, great music. Keep racking up those accolades from your great work. People are putting the hearts in the chat. Shout out to Face to Face, the music. So it's not only resonating musically, but personally to the people. So that's the reward in every artistry. So again, I want to give you a round of applause.
Thank you.
for
That means a
coming
lot.
on.
And I want to write that song with you, bud.
Boot Spurs.
Whatever you said, it was perfect.
That's right. We're gonna put the Spurs to the ass.
Yes, for boots and spurs to the ass. That's
Yeah,
what it was.
boots and Spurs to the ass, right there. That sound like a really great one. That's a great
Who
one.
knows? I mean, we may end up at the Grammys next year, brother. You don't know.
You don't know. And I did get confirmation from Golden. She said it's okay. We could do it at the same time.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm in. Count
we
me
go.
in.
There we go. But Brooke, you have a wonderful night. Bless
Thank you.
one.
Thank y'all for listening.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing so much great energy.
All right, bud. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Shout out to everybody that got to view tonight and that's on, whether you're on the MJMG Presents app or you are in the chat right here. Love can't tell time. It says, don't let men bend you. And Golden came out with that right there, right after that. Facts. Not only don't let men bend you, don't let the hurdles of the game bend you. Sometimes we let life bend us. Sometimes we let work bend us. We let friendships bend us. Relationships bend us. You know, things that we can't have no control over bend us. And when it bends us, it takes us out of our straight and narrow mission. It takes us off our road. It bends us out of proportion. So not only do we have to be mindful of the way and the things that we're around, but sometimes we got to be mindful of how we might bend ourselves. You see, our minds are very powerful. And sometimes things that don't even exist, sometimes things that don't and will never reach us, we bring to the forefront and we let that bend us out of proportion and let that take us from our own mission and our own direction. So not just men, not just music and life. Sometimes don't even let your mind bend you, because your mind will bend you in degrees that nothing in the world can do, and no one can see it, no one can touch it, and no one can save it but who? You. Because where? It's in your mind and no one else, nowhere else. So shout out to everybody that's on. That was my final thought. I think that was a cool one. I like that one. I'm going to even take that into my own consideration. But like I said earlier, we got Me Time rocked up. That was Brooke Graham. We got to sit down. She had 3 number ones, had the #1 festival. She is rocking and rolling. She's fusion. And the reason, and before I go off this rant, the reason I brought up the fusion of music, because like country music is very cultural music. And sometimes people don't want to accept change, or they want to accept things. So for her to even merge, she said reggae and stuff and want to be hip hop. Sometimes you just gotta do you. If it feels good, sounds good, forget what anybody gotta say. Do it. You know why? Because they're gonna say something anyway. If you don't do it, if you do it, so you might as well do something that you wanted to do and let them talk about that. Without any further ado, we're gonna go into Me Time. Make sure you get yours because it's most definitely needed. Much love to y'all, man. This is Me Time by Brooke Graham.
Rolling down a midnight highway, wishing you were sitting beside me, but you ain't. Half-smoked joint snuffed out in my ashtray. That ought to get me to port, eh? I only think about it when I'm high on red wine. The rest of the day I seem to be just fine. I'm gonna head down to the coastline and have a little me time. I dare that tide to reach my chair. I don't even want nobody knowing I'm down here. I came to free my mind and have a little me time. Invite that sand between my toes, maybe get a little sunburn on my nose. Chill out, we'll see how it goes. Hanging with the Gulf of Mexico. Troubles in the sand today.